So the first thing I do is I sit down right down here. I just have a towel, and that catches all of the mold and stuff that we're going to brush off. And then this is my little kit, and I have all these brushes. I have soft bristle brushes. This one is a shoe polishing brush, and it has horsehair, and that's a good one. Another one that you can get at beauty supply stores is a boar bristle, which is nice because it's a little bit firmer, but it's still soft. And then I use old t-shirts for old cotton t-shirts that I've cut for cloths to wipe down, like Munster Cheese. And then this one that Isabella's holding is a nail brush, and this is a little bit coarser. But this one's easy to get clean because it, you know, there isn't many holes. And then I keep a measuring cup to put my liquid in. This is the liquid I use. It's half a gallon of water in, let's see, a half a cup of salt to 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And then I just shake it on your cheeses, like your natural rind cheeses that don't have like a bandage wrap or something like that. So I put about 1/4 of the way of the water, and like this little nail brush can fit in there really nicely. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I work the cheesecake. So let's start over here. I start up here at the top, and this one is a Parmesan. So this one gets rubbed with olive oil. So, but if there's any mold on here, like here's a little bit of mold building up, I grab the salt water and the brush, dip it in, and you want to brush it off towards your towel. There you go, good job. Alright, and then what I do with the Parmesan is I just rub it with olive oil. So that's all I'll do for that one. And you want to flip it. So, what side was it on? It was like this, so it gets flipped this way. And then another one, that's a Gruyere. That's another natural rind cheese. And this one gets brushed too, if there's any mold on top. And look, there is a little bit of mold forming on top of this one. So we're going to dip our brush in the salt water. And then you want to brush away from the cheese because you want to push the mold off. You don't want to do it in a circular motion. And then look on the sides to see if there's any. Oh, there's some mold on the side. Alright, I'm going to use this one. So you like that one, don't you? And this cheese looks pretty good. You want to keep a high humidity on your natural rind cheeses. Otherwise they'll crack and they'll get too dry. High humidity is like 85 to 90%. Alright, that one looks good, so we're going to flip it to the other side that it wasn't on. Alright, let's see what else we have in here. We have a Camembert, and this Camembert is wrapped, it's at the end, it's ready to eat, so I'm just going to flip it over. It just gets flipped. I keep it in here to keep the humidity up. Let's see, this is a bandage wrap Colby, so I'm just going to flip it over. We don't have to do anything with that one. Alright, now these require a little bit of work. This is my Munster cheese, and I wait to do the Munster until the very end, because I use this salt water because inevitably there's something growing on them. I take the cloth, dip it in here, and I've already, for about a month, I've already been rubbing the bee linen bacteria on it, so now all I'm doing is rubbing off any extra molds that come up. But these are ready to eat now. And we're just going to flip them over. So these always like to get some kind of, they'll get like crazy stuff growing on there, so you just wipe it off. These are called washed rind cheeses. And these are ready to eat. So you just flip it over, and that's ready to go. But now that I've used my liquid for the Munster, I won't use it for anything else. So I always save that for the last one. Good job, Isabella. Alright. So we're just going to flip these over. These don't need any washing. These are just wine. It's a natural rind cheese that I soaked in wine. and the other one's a tome. Alright, so we put these back in. While I'm working the cheese cave, I'll also make sure that my humidifier is working well. And if I need to add any water, I do that. I usually, one of these bottles will last about a week in here. So I just make sure that the steam's coming out. And then I also check the humidity to make sure it's at a good level. And then this is where I store my brine. It's a 2-gallon food grade plastic bucket. And I also store my feta cheese in there. And right now I have one wheel of feta. I've eaten all my others. And so part of my routine is to flip it over. Because right now it's floating and you know, one side is up. So I'll just flip it over to the other side. But see, that's what it looks like. So then just cover that back up. And that's done. Alright, now moving on to the next cave. And this one, I have a bunch of vacuum packs, so I'm just going to rotate it, turn it over. That's a Gouda. Alright, this one here is the Clothbound cheese. Good job. It's the natural Clothbound cheddar cheese that we made last week. So I'm just going to flip it over. And no mold has grown on it yet, but I try to get in the habit of brushing it. Just brush it lightly. And all that does is, you don't see it, but it might have mold spores that have started growing, and it'll just start spreading the mold around evenly. Alright, so we flip that one. Here's another one that we have. This one is wrapped in cream wax. So I'm just going to flip it. And then, let's see, what else do we have in here? Another bandage wrap. That was starting to grow some mold. This is a vacuum packed one, so I'm just going to flip it. You always want to flip your cheeses to distribute the moisture. So I'm just going to flip all these. And I do vacuum pack anytime I don't have time to do bandage wrap. Here's another cream wax. So I'm just going to flip that over. And the cream wax has a natural mold inhibitor in it, so you won't ever get any mold growth and you won't have to do brushing or anything like that. It should take care of itself. If you made the cheese properly and got it all dry. Alright, so I just check my humidity. What else? Okay, this cloth here, I get it wet. It's to help increase the humidity. And then I check my little thing. It's getting low on water, so I'm going to add more water to this. And then we're done working the cheese cave. And I probably do this once to twice a week.